Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Stink Bug Works. This morning I get to do something that's actually the reason I do this whole YouTube video thing. In fact, before I get into my topic, I got a survey the other day from YouTube. I'm spilling my coffee. I got a survey from YouTube, and one of the questions they asked was to the effect of, do you find YouTube an easy way to make money? And I'm looking at this questionnaire going, what the hell are you talking about? Make money? I haven't made a penny off of YouTube. And quite frankly, I have no desire to make a penny off of YouTube. I'm not going to be whoring out some thing for you guys to look at or something. My real reason for doing this is I find RC boating an interesting hobby, and it's such a small niche of the hobby, and then I've taken it to one even smaller niche where I focus on these little micro boats. Now, how many people focus on micro boats? There was a fellow way back when, and quite frankly, I look at him as a not quite a mentor, because I never really met the man, but his name was Trent Hare. Now, H-A-R-E, like a rabbit. And Trent was a pioneer in micros. Trent was building micros when Gropner was vacuum forming, their Key West and the systems. Trent Hare was building micro hydros on the size and scale of the Atlas and the short circuit kits. And God, this was back in the 1980s, 1990s, long time ago. So he was a pioneer in this micro thing. He died and interest sort of lost out. I mean, because everybody wants bigger and faster, and this boat will never do 100 miles an hour. It will never do 100 miles an hour. Now, its big brother will, just because of, the scale effect. 100 miles an hour in this is like, well, I don't have to explain it. Instead, let's get back to my topic. One of my loyal viewers, who I shall call Jim, asked some questions about the Mozilla. So let me go into this. And, I'm going to whore out Oliver Seiss's kits. Oliver makes some nice kits. Granted, the designs are a little bit aged, but how much design, changes have there been to the bottom of a boat over the past, 30, 40 years? You can change the strakes, you can change the angles, but there's only so much you can do. So anyway, while his designs are dated, they're good designs. They're really nice. Now, let's start on the outside. Jim asked me why the flood chamber holes are here. Well, first of all, let's talk about MHZ boats. You have to order a flood chamber option when you buy this hull. If you get just the off-the-shelf hull, it has no flood chamber. Oliver has flood chamber templates and can cut a flood chamber side and put one in. When you get the boat with a flood chamber, you'll just get a pinhole here to keep air pressure from causing damage inside here. You get no big opening holes. You also get no air vent holes. So Jim asked me, why are the air vent holes on the bottom? And Jim, here's why the air vent holes are on the bottom. Because when you're using the air vent holes, They're on the top. Now let's think about it. This boat is laying upside down in the water. The CG's here, so it's going to be down a little bit like this. This side has the flood chamber, so this side's going to float a little more, and it's going to want to go down. Now, the boat is in this position, and the water level is right here. That's why I put those holes right there. Because when your boat's upside down, that's where you need the air to come out as fast as possible. If it comes out slow, it takes your boat longer to flip over. If the air comes out real fast, it'll just self-right itself right now. I mean, if I were to cut this whole side off and not have it, basically have it a solid flood chamber, when I rolled it, it'd come right back. Because this side would float and this side wouldn't. So that's why I put those holes there. I'll tell you another thing. I saw a video, and it was either somebody from Eastern Europe or it could have been Ukraine or Russia. But they were racing, and he had holes here and here. And the whole idea is you want air to get out as fast as possible. I've seen guys just cut a huge notch, like they took a hole saw, a 1-inch hole saw, and just kind of came in at an angle and cut a half circle out of there. Because you want that air to get out of there fast. And these guys are racing, they want their boats to flip over fast. So that's why they did that. Okay, now Jim expressed some interest in this rudder arrangement. This thing's cool. I like it, but it has a number of shortcomings. One is there's not a whole lot of adjustment, and you can't run really big props. Well, on this boat, I don't need a whole lot of adjustment, and I'm not going to run a really big prop, so that's not an issue. It's not cheap. It's like $30 or $35. But, you get your rudder and your strut, so it's not that bad. It has a water pickup, and I modified the opening a little bit more to make it more of a scoop rather than just a hole traveling through the water. And what else have I done? That's about it. As for the turn fin, I set it up with this first turn fin so that it's just barely, if at all, touching the water when the boat's up on plane. It's just barely. And it seems to be enough. I may put a little more. But with this concept, it's just a single screw holding a flat plate. So I can shape a piece of aluminum, stainless steel, carbon fiber, whatever I want, to any shape, and one hole, boom, it's on. How tough is that? So turn fins will be a dime a dozen on this and easy to change in and change out. In fact, I don't even have a nut on here. I just threaded the mount and one screw, boom, put another one on. It's that quick. Lastly, cost. Oliver charges 65 euros for this, but I believe that 65 euros includes the 19% VAT tax they have in Europe, but it may not. Whatever it is, the shipping from Germany over to the States is what really kills you. So it's best to amortize your purchase. So when I bought this hull from Oliver, I said, Oliver, give me the carbon aramid upgrade so I can bang it into stuff, and give me the flood chamber upgrade. So those are upgrades, the material in the flood chamber. They're not horribly expensive, but it sort of lessens the shock of the shipping. Were I to do another one of these, I might forego all the cost, weight, and complexity of this unit and just put in one of these. Now, Oliver sells these. These, the more I see them, the more I like them. It's just dirt simple. TFL sells these motor mounts that just perfectly work with this. And bingo, you've got your motor mounted, you've got your shaft alignment nailed. There's no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. There it is. It's virtually friction-free. You're forced to using M4 propellers. And I really wouldn't recommend a speed control with a reverse, because with these screw-on propellers, you can unscrew them with reverse if you're not careful. So there's some discussion on the Mozilla. Lastly, the cost. Remember, this haul, I went online and found out it's like $140. Yes, it's painted fiberglass. This is gel-coated, whatever material you wish. So there you go, the H&M Mozilla. It's a fun little boat. You're going to see it running more as soon as I can get a speed control. Oh, remember I discussed moving the battery over here to get the weight over here. I had a Dynamite 30 and it was pretty much centered. I'm now going to get a TFL 40, the same thing that's in the mini Dom, and I'm going to put it up against this sidewall. So again, I'll be moving weight off to this side to help it balance. And then once I have the speed control located, I'll make the rest of the jam foam for this, and we'll have another model embedded in jam foam. Okay, boys and girls, and Jim, until next time, jet out. Ladies and gentlemen, and Jim, welcome back to the Stinkbug Works. Today, I bring you a rare addendum to our previous video. After I got done talking about these drive lines, I went on back to my storage bin and I dug out one of these ubiquitous 4,000 kV outrunners that can be found on eBay all over the place for a reasonable price. And look at here, look at here, look at here. I believe this has a 3mm shaft. Oliver Seiss has a 3mm to 2mm coupler that fits in Oliver Seiss's little motor coupling. And what do you think, boys and girls, and Jim? This would make a good something. What would it make? It would make, well, it'd make a good Mozilla 400. You know, there it is. It'd make a good Mozilla 400. It would make a cool little rigger with a tub about, room for battery, tub about yay long, sponsons about like that. So the little thing would be about yay big. What else could you make with it? Maybe, just maybe, I should have that as a future Dr. Jet challenge. And speaking of Dr. Jet challenges, I still have one going, and I'm going to announce the winners in May. And so far, I only have 2 real contestants, Sam and Brandon. And both have built a boat. Sam took me aback with what he did on his. I mean, he went to the point of 3D printing the rubberized cowl hold-down straps. Now that's detail. I mean, his 120 scale belongs in a museum or on a pond. So anyway, kudos to Sam. I think Brandon's going to have the fastest one. We'll see. I haven't seen much of Brandon's boat. It may be languishing in the back, but anyway, he at least did a video and showed something. So there you go. Not a whole lot of contestants, but now let's think about this. If you order one of these drive shafts from Germany, it's going to cost to ship it. If you have 5 of them in the envelope, it's still going to cost to ship it. So maybe I should make a challenge. And the challenge would be, what could you make around this? Okay, so you've got this cheap little 4,000 kV outrunner, which should make a screaming little 2S. It would make a screaming 2S rigger. Remember, Big B had this in his that fiberglass donor rigger that he built, his ironclad flagship, and he promptly burned this motor up, but he put way too much prop and way too much battery in it, and the motor said, "Oh my God, oh my God." And so it gave up. But yeah, it was a fun video though, you know. So this did power that big rigger while it was still alive and had reasonable props and batteries. So I'm thinking this will make a going something. You won't have to use water cooling because this thing's air cooled. So that gives you just a ton of options. What can you make out of this? And if there's enough guys interested, I can order like 5 or as many of these shafts as will fit into a small box and get one massive order. And then now that I know this motor has a 3mm shaft, I can spec them out with 2 to 3 couplers and get a bunch of these things. And then throw the challenge out. What can you build around this? Who builds the coolest thing? You can build it out of wood. You can build it out of Depron. You could build it out of carbon fiber. You could build it out of molded plastic. You could 3D print it. You could do anything you want, but you use this to power it. What do you guys think of that? Would that be a cool challenge? Would that be a cool challenge? I think that's a cool challenge. So anyway, so much for this addendum. This video is going to be real long. So until next time, boys and girls, and Jim, jet out.